What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of FORNEVERNEWS, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related. And we don't bore you, we get into it. Let's do it. I must go, must leave this house. I must go, the time is now. I must go, it's time to get out. Okay, people, before we get started, quickly, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. We drop new episodes of FORNEVER News every Saturday, 12 p.m. EST, and throughout the week, we re-upload some segments for your viewing pleasure. Hit them buttons, and let's get into the story, shall we? And we got a few stories up on the agenda for this episode in particular. I don't know what's going on with Weekly Shonen Jump. I feel like, again, there's some sort of break of sorts because, yeah, I got a whole bunch of stories, but it really wasn't pertaining to Jump for a good chunk of this one. But, yeah, let's get into it. Because for starters, shout outs to Jose_Kev for this one. We got some insight, and some unfortunate insight at that, on Jujutsu Kaisen's manga, and it seems as though Jujutsu Kaisen is unfortunately on the decline. Now you're probably thinking, what do you mean on the decline, dog? Jujutsu Kaisen is doing fantastic. Well, we got a lot of analytics and insights to show that while Jujutsu Kaisen is still a massive seller, like, let's be very, very clear. I don't want nobody to say that I'm slandering Jujutsu Kaisen. I understand very well that 2 years ago it did 30 million in 1 year. Last year, 1 year ago, it did like 12 million in a year. It is a huge seller. It is the biggest selling manga back to back for 2 years in a row. However, what I've come to say is that, yeah, it had that, and yeah, it still sells very well, but it is 100% on the decline at this particular point. Let's take a look at the insights that we have so you guys can understand what I mean. Because as you can see in the beginning of this chart with volume 1, you see, just like any other Jump series, it starts off and it continues to grow. Volume 1 did okay. It did what? About maybe like 70,000 or something, 60,000 with the volume. Then you see as it continues, you got 300,000 accumulated, 1.5 million. And then you see, which is par for the course for any anime and manga situation, that by 2020, once the anime starts airing, it goes wild. Because again, in 2020, it's still progressively climbing. Once you get to volume 13, and season 1 begins, it goes astronomical. It goes from, like, let's say it looks about 350,000 or so to boom, 20 million in circulation, and that volume is over 1 million copies sold, which is freaking ridiculous. And it just continues to climb after that. Volume 15's bigger, volume 16's bigger, but we're seeing little by little inklings of, well, wait a minute, what just happened? Because by volume 17, that's where you're seeing the first decline in the series, which, again, I want to be clear as well that a lot of Shonen Jump series, this is the formula for the most part. Most manga, that's the formula. They build, anime comes, they get a big, huge boost, and then eventually they go down. But there are other series that have been exceptions to that rule. We've talked about with My Hero Academia that it has pretty much with every volume since the beginning increased in sales incrementally. Every volume is doing better than the last. There's been like maybe little tiny dips, but never has it been significant decrease to the point where it's like, oh, we're at that point now, we're at the tail end, it's gonna burn out. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, it looks like following the release of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's movie, which you would ideally think like, okay, that is gonna make sales go astronomical, the volume sales continue to drop. The next one goes down, the next one goes down, and then by 21, it is pretty much getting close to doing just barely over what the manga did when it first started blowing up. So it's not necessarily a complete fall off, but if it continues with this trajectory, it's only a matter of time until we go back to where it all began with the sales of, like, volume 13 season 1, because we're slowly heading that way. And basically this is a demonstration that this is why the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege Akutami, recently came out and said, yeah, we probably got like about a year left with this thing or something, because that is always the recipe for a series as well. It's like, okay, you're in the decline now, you're starting to go down, we ain't reaching those peaks of what we did during the, like, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie or during volume 16 or whatnot. Okay, yeah, let's start winding it down. So it also goes into the whole new formula that Shonen Jump has been working with of just get a big hit right now. Don't worry about the end game. I think Shonen Jump's motto back in the day was sustain it for as long as possible. This one seems as though get as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and then it'll start to decline, and we'll wrap that bad boy up. So it's going to be interesting to see the future of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I would throw the argument that the reason why there's probably a year left is because we're already heading in the decline, despite the fact of those massive years, because again, volumes 14 through 19 were all, magnificent, and it's still selling very well, but with the decline, it's only a matter of time before it'll inevitably end, because that's how things work with Shonen Jump. Series starts to decline, you gotta go. And I guess this is also a testament as well to see the impact that Shibuya had, because not only did the anime have impact, but we was in the Shibuya incident arc during a lot of this blowing up, and yeah, that helped massively. And imagine when that hits the anime, who knows, maybe it could sustain itself. But if considering Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, looking at this chart, didn't provide a giant boost like you would expect, it didn't increase in popularity, that makes me think that maybe season 2 won't have that big impact that you would ideally hope for, because if a movie couldn't do it, I'm not sure how well a TV anime could do it, because remember, now this is season 2 of the TV anime. Mostly it's just going to be carryovers from the previous watchers or whatnot. With Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's movie, anybody could have watched it. It was a prequel thingy. It didn't really have anything to do with what's going on in the story right now. It made perfect sense for that to blow up, but considering we didn't see an increase on that, I'm willing to bet as well that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, while it's going to be massive and while we'll see some sales, it won't really make the manga go all the way back up like it was doing, but only time will tell. Either way, it looks like Jujutsu Kaisen is finally, and I hate saying finally because it's not like we was waiting for it, but it is 100% definitely on the decline, and that could be attributing to why Gege Akutami is deciding to cancel it. Moving forward, One Piece fans, there's always some good news when One Piece does something like this, right? You always like to hear that, yo, One Piece did it again, it broke this record, it did that, and it's always fascinating. It's always like, yeah, that One Piece freaking greatness, let's freaking go. But, despite the fact that people have been sleeping on, and I would throw the argument even slandering to a certain degree, One Piece Film Red, it seems as though One Piece Film Red is actually doing extremely well, so much so that Toei is like, yo dog, you're breaking the box office. Let's read. Toei sets new box office record with 32 billion yen in 2022. Film production company Toei announced on Wednesday that its total box office earnings from January 1st to December 31st, 2022 add up to about US $246 million, well above its previous record high of about $135 million in 2009, with a total of 23,646,555 tickets in 2022. The company points to strong performing movies such as the long-running One Piece Film Red and the first Slam Dunk films as major contributors to its new record high. Hey, wait a minute. Dragon Ball Super provided to that as well. No, what? Well, I guess in Japan it didn't do as well as outside of it, but I mean, that still goes into their bank account, no? So why not mention Dragon Ball Super? Oh, it's because Slam Dunk already surpassed it. That's crazy, dog. Slam Dunk is so much so more in the conversation of Toei Animation's mind than even Dragon Ball Super, that they like, yo, that One Piece and that Slam Dunk, it brought in the numbers. But sir, could you comment on what Dragon Ball Superhero did for Toei Animation? So yeah, One Piece Film Red and Slam Dunk did great. One Piece Film Red opened in Japan on August 6th last year and has since sold over 13.79 million tickets and earned over 19 billion yen, about roughly $144 million, after 157 days. The first Slam Dunk, however, has sold 5.27 million tickets in 38 days since the film opened in Japan, ranking number 1 in the box office for 6 consecutive weeks so far, and again, still counting. And it's gonna be very interesting, and this is probably why Toei Animation and whatnot aren't all that hard pressed to get more Dragon Ball out there. Like, dog, we put out this little Slam Dunk movie and a One Piece film that was like a halfway musical. Well, I still really enjoyed it, but we just kind of did some experimenting, and look what it did for our bank account. So I think this is even more so on a grander scope of the conversation to be had. It's not necessarily to be had about, oh, the next One Piece film, the next Slam Dunk film. Is about what Toei is going to do next, because if they've seen with these experiments, like, hey, we tried an experiment with Slam Dunk 3D CG and that was a massive win, let's go. And then they tried this, we got a deal with Spotify, and they put One Piece Film Red all over Times Square and everything, like, yo, that experiment was a success. we're gonna see them either go down the paths of both of those, which would mean more CG 3D from Toei, but also more music elements and things of that nature. It's gonna probably affect the way they move moving forward, because if they've seen success like this, if they've seen like, well, we don't have to finally, we could fall back from the tradition of just putting everything into people punching each other, into relying on Dragon Ball to come and save the day, like Toriyama's, the superhero himself. If they don't have to do any of that stuff anymore, and they can experiment and they can go in different avenues that arguably down the road is going to be cheaper, they're going to go down that road. So honestly, whenever Toei picks up a title from anywhere, be wary. Be wary of the fact that they are very much so happy and excited about the money that is being made utilizing 3D CG, that they might be like, from now on, oh word, yo, that new, what, oh, it's Sakamoto Days? Yeah, we're going to license that for 3D CG anime. And again, maybe it could be cool, who knows, but yeah, Toei Animation, they're seeing one of the biggest years they've ever had since 2009, 14 years ago. I doubt that they're going to be moving the same way. I doubt they're going to be relying on the same tricks of the trade. They're probably going to continue on experimenting, and I guess it's basically to say, get used to it. But only time will tell, right? Either way, One Piece Film Red, Slam Dunk brought Toei their most biggest year in a long time, and they're loving it. Okay, next up, this article, this little story thingy-majig threw me for a loop in the world of Dragon Ball, because if this is legit, then this is probably one of the most absurd reasons, but at the same time maybe somewhat fitting in terms of for Dragon Ball Super, because apparently in a recent interview, Toyotaro, the guy that is doing the art for Dragon Ball Super, as well as he's working on the story closely with Akira Toriyama to bring it to fruition or whatnot, apparently during an interview he gave a big perspective on something from the manga. Now I want to throw in right here a disclaimer of this is a spoiler from one of the latest chapters of the Dragon Ball Super manga, so you have been warned, but it's still ridiculous, and I wanted to tell you guys what happened here. Because according to this, apparently Toyotaro chose black for Frieza because Black Frieza is currently his strongest form yet. He came back, he trained a whole bunch, and now he's even stronger than Goku and Vegeta yet again with his Black Frieza form. And a lot of people were like, okay, they had the jokes, the memes, and all of that stuff. Like, yo, dog, he went from white to black. What the hell is this? However, it seems as though Toyotaro's choice for Frieza Black is as follows, and I'm having a hard time even believing this one. It feels like, what? Toyotaro chose black for Frieza based on the top credit card. In a recent interview, Toyotaro revealed he chose black for Frieza's latest transformation based on the top level credit card. The American Express Centuron card, known informally as the Black Card, is an invitation-only charge card issued by American Express. An invitation is extended to platinum card holders after they meet certain spending, net worth, and credit quality minimums. The Centuron card comes in personal and business variants. And basically, because of that, seemingly, we got Black Frieza. Again, I gotta put because I'm not 100% sure on the validity of that, but if that is true, what? You know what I'm saying? What? It brings me back to the reason why, supposedly, I remember there was an interview, Toriyama was like, the reason why Super Saiyan Blue is stronger than Super Saiyan God is because I feel blue is stronger than red, and I was just there like, what? What? I mean, yo, dope stuff, dog. Like, blue is strong, absolutely, but as being the reasoning of, hey, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan is stronger than just Super Saiyan God because he turns blue, just because of the color itself, nothing to do with any spirituality, any deeper meaning. It's blue. So now you take that same type of mindset and you're like, hey, the reason why Frieza turned black, it's because, dog, the credit card's up there, bro, invitation only, which also makes me think, invitation only, who invited Frieza, if that's the case? If we're gonna get a little bit intricate, I hope that there's more to it than just like, hey, the top credit card. If it's an invitation only, maybe that could be some insight into somebody invited Frieza into this whole idea of turning black Frieza. There's a possibility there as well, but I keep it a buck with you. Sometimes I look at, are these mangaka like trolling us? Is this some sort of like massive troll on another level of like, the top credicado. Like, what? Nothing to do with, Frieza tapping in with his inner self. Nothing to do with anything other than a credit card, man. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball. Sometimes it does make you think like, well, this is why people feel the way they feel about Dragon Ball, and why people say Dragon Ball fell off, and why people bash on it and all that stuff. Because when you get things like this, or, blue is stronger than red, so that's... what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What are these reasons? But again, that's classic. Toyotaro pretty much is the new Toriyama, because Toriyama's whole thing was being like somewhat of an idiot savant in his interviews, and it sounds like Toyotaro is picking that up. It seems as though Toriyama has rubbed off on Toyotaro with, hey, yeah, man, that's stronger because why not? But shout outs to Black Frieza, Toyotaro, and Dragon Ball Super. Hopefully this new arc starts to pick up, because it has potential, and I want to see Black Frieza again anyway. Like, that was cool. See, that's how they sell us. That was cool. So that makes an excuse for it's the top credicado. Okay, next up, My Hero Academia fans. I dug into the crates and I found something that I think people are going to appreciate regarding news for the My Hero Academia anime. As it stands right now, the My Hero Academia anime is in season 6, midway through. We're at the second half at this particular point, and a lot of fans are like, okay, well, season 6, the first half, in terms of art and animation, aesthetically, it wasn't, a home run per se. You didn't give us the greatest of greats, but it was okay-ish. Then you get season 6, part 2, with the opening and whatnot, and it leaves a lot of people like, wow, are they going to really step it up with this one? Like, is this the part where they're going to finally say, you know what, we're going to throw in a whole bunch of Sakuga, we're going to throw in a whole bunch of really pretty art? That's the possibility, because according to this, seems as though they got the talent to make some really nice stuff moving forward. It says, Yoshihiko Umakoshi confirms he's in charge of the upcoming Todoroki family flashback, which is going to be a part of the anime. Now you're probably thinking, well, Fanev, who the hell is Yoshihiko Umakoshi that you can't even really pronounce off the top of your head? Who is that, and why should that matter? Well, according to this, it says he does the official art for My Hero Academia's promo posters and advertisements. He's also the reason anytime the characters look on model, manga accurate, clean looking lines, good composition. It's why Dabi looks so good during his identity reveal. So it seems as though at the very least with the flashback, 100% My Hero Academia Season 6 is going to go in. It's going to look proper. It's going to look the way you would expect. So definitely something to look out for. And even more so, yet again, it's like, well, this is one of the things I was saying anyway, right? Like, we need the talent of talent for this season. We need My Hero Academia. No, it doesn't just need. It deserves to get, the talent, man. It deserves to have the right people working on it. So if they have this guy that he does the promo posters, which promo posters look, gorgeous a lot of the times. And at the same time, he's always on model with the characters, clean lines, good composition. That's a very good thing, and that's something to say, okay, you can expect for the remainder of this season of My Hero Academia, at the very least, to have some good-looking stuff to a higher quality, because they got this dude working on it. So yeah, good news for the My Hero Academia anime for people that were like, the sky is too blue, I can't do it, it's terrible. Inside joke from my other channel, FORNEVERNEWS. Go check it out if you haven't already. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Either way, My Hero Academia, it seems as though for the remainder of this anime, we've got some good stuff to look forward to, especially again the Todoroki flashback. Like, that's gonna be so good. Next up, Naruto fans, and even Boruto fans at that, in particular in the realm of gaming, I got some pretty interesting news. I have to put it in the rumor pile because the source isn't big, straight through. However, this source has been right on some very, very big things, so I trust the source enough to bring it to you guys, but we'll keep it as rumor for now. But FORNEVERNEWS is telling you that the source is pretty legit, I'm just saying. Because in case you haven't been hearing the murmurings for a little bit now, apparently another Naruto game is coming for CyberConnect 2, a Storm game, and a lot of people have been highly anticipating it, so much so that people found out that they registered a trademark for Naruto Storm Connections. So a lot of people are like, okay, wait a minute, we're getting another Naruto Storm game. What the hell is this going to be about? Obviously, they got a lot more story that they can add now, ever since the Boruto anime did, all the way up to the Ishiki Otsutsuki stuff, and even further if they decide to wait more for, hey, just wrap up all of Boruto Part 1 into it. However, based on this one, it seems as though while this is going to be incredible news, this new Naruto Storm Connections game is probably going to be one of the definitive Naruto fighters that we've had thus far. It seems as though it's going to come with a cost of it will be definitively the finale of it all. And granted, I do remember CyberConnect 2 saying twice now that I believe it was first Storm 3 is going to be the finale, and then Storm 3 wasn't the end. They put out like another one, and then Storm 4 is really the end, and it's been quite some time. I think Storm 4 came out, if I'm not mistaken, 2016, so damn, 7 years ago now since Storm 4. Wow. But yeah, it seems as though according to this leak, this is going to be like the definitive thing, but the final. Shout out to Senju in Japan. He said, for those who think Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections is a side/filler game, re-examine that thought. This is very much a send-off and will be the best/anime game to date. This is the last Storm game. It's a send-off, and CyberConnect 2 is treating it with time and care. Trust. So essentially, this is going to be like, hey guys, we know we brought you a lot of the games that you love from your childhood and all that stuff, but this is it. This is the one. And it's probably because they're going to wrap again and incorporate everything they possibly can into the whole Boruto meets Naruto, because there's a lot of stuff that never was made for the Storm games because it wasn't available at the time. The anime and manga hadn't finished up a lot of those arcs, so it looks as though this is going to incorporate possibly majority of the stuff from Naruto and then maybe go all the way into Boruto and just in general wrap things up, which whenever Boruto gets into the time skip, maybe they'll think about it again. I don't know, but it seems as though this is really it. And at the end of the day, CyberConnect 2, they've been moving on. They got, the Hinokami Chronicles Demon Slayer game that I don't know if they're going to support it with DLC or they're going to make a second one or whatever. They got a lot of other things, but this will be a big one because, yeah, Storm fans still, I know I still want one. Let me know, drop a comment and let me know if you want another Storm game in general and if you're excited about this potential Storm Connections by CyberConnect 2. I play Demon Slayer all the time and I know the mechanics aren't going to be far off from that, so I'm highly anticipating this one. Yes, and they're putting in the works. This is going to be good. Again, keep it as rumor, but for the finale of the Naruto Storm games as a whole, this is it. Now that I think about it, it should have just been called Naruto Storm, this is it. Like, yeah. Oh, shut up, FORNEV Connections is so much for a better name. What, this is it? What do you think this is? Okay. Moving forward, massive news for Avatar The Last Airbender fans. And when I say Avatar, please don't tell me about Avatar, the movie that's in theaters right now, because despite the fact that it has $2 billion worth of income revenue from it, who's watched that movie? Let me know if you watched it. That's a side note. I don't even know. Why am I starting this way? But I got great news for Avatar The Last Airbender fans. There's a ton of productions in the works for Avatar with different projects, movies, all sorts of stuff, TV. I was going to say anime, but yeah, that's a whole other debate whether it's anime or cartoons, but there's a lot of stuff in the works, and it seems as though we got the first big update for something that is coming. Let's take a look. Because for starters, we got this promotional image of ZUKO, and it says October 9th, 2026, year confirmed, month and day projected. So people are projecting the 10/9, but 2026 seemingly is the confirmation. It says here, exclusive animated ZUKO movie coming to theaters confirmed for 2026 with a projected, the projected date. Last month we hit you with the mother of all Avatar news exclusive for 2025, and now we're going even further with the big ticket item of 2026. We have new confirmation from our sources at Paramount, Avatar Studios' parent company and the owner of Avatar franchise, that the previously reported ZUKO-focused movie is officially currently on Paramount schedule for theatrical release in 2026. This will be Avatar Studios' second animated movie following the theatrical release of their first feature, Aang's Team Avatar as Adults, which has publicly confirmed the release date of Friday, October 10th, 2025. So we basically have already the big Aang as an adult movie confirmed for 2025, even though they're saying all these years that are ways off, dog. We just started 2023 and they're like, yo, we got confirmation for 2025. Like, that is a long time from now, a lot of years. So just want you to keep that in mind, that all of this, long time from now. Based on Avatar Studios' plans of one movie and one show per year, we can currently project that the second movie will come a year after the first, taking the same Friday slot in the next year's calendar of October 9th, 2026. That, again, is a projection, so take that one with a grain of salt. Like, it could be 2026, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be October. Again, the day and month are a projection, but the year, 2026, is currently official at Paramount. Right now, we know less about the ZUKO movie than the adult Aang movie, We don't know what time period the ZUKO movie will take place in. We literally just know it's a movie with a ZUKO-focused storyline. It's probably a safe assumption that the ZUKO movie will take place in a similar time period as the adult Aang movie, but we do know that the 3 movies of their first 3-year plan are not a trilogy, but 3 separate standalone stories. At least that's what their plan said last year. Therefore, it's totally possible this one will surprise us. Dante Bosco will return to voice him, as he's already attached to voice adult Zuko in the 2025 movie. And yeah, so it seems as though we're going to be, once it gets going, once things start to come into fruition with the TV animated series that they're going to do of the new Avatar, the Aang movie, they're just going to keep on going and going and going. And then we're going to have a Zuko movie, which I think the Zuko movie is probably going to make people flock everywhere. Zuko was one of the most popular characters of Avatar, very controversial, inspired a lot. I mean, he inspired Hakuryu from Magi. He inspired quite a bit of characters that you're like, yeah, that's the Zuko dude. That's him right there. Yeah, they got the Zuko character. So yeah, big stuff there. And again, it's like, so we got a new Avatar series coming that's going to take place after Korra. We got an adult Aang movie and a Zuko film. This is going to be a lot of really dope years for Avatar once it gets started. And again, I gotta say, for Avatar The Last Airbender, we're not talking about Way of the Water, fam. But either way, 2026, month and day not confirmed, we will be having some Zuko film following the Aang one, and that's going to be big as well. Moving forward, I never thought I would see this day, fam. Back in the day, go to like 97, 98, when I first started checking out this series, when I first started collecting the cards, when my fandom just began, and they told us, gotta catch them all. There's 150, and later on you hear 151 because of Mewtwo. Pokemon, you're like, yo, dog, that's crazy. There's so many of these Pokemon thingy-majigs. What the heck is all of this? You never thought that Pokemon would take it this far, fam. You never thought that we would be 2023 and there's a new Pokemon anime coming with a new character and it's still strong as ever. There's new games dropping all the time that sell massively still all these years later. But then it takes it even a step further because, like I said, we started off with $150, you know, 151 if you add in the good old Mewtwo. And as it stands right now, Pokemon has officially surpassed, and they celebrated it at that, 1,000 Pokemon. The Pokedex just got that much bigger. Let's take a look. Pokemon celebrates passing 1,000 Pokemon milestone. The Pokemon Company is celebrating the franchise surpassing the 1,000 Pokemon mark with a new video released earlier today on YouTube and social media. The video didn't contain any announcements, but is a fun celebration of every Pokemon in the franchise, with a particular highlight given to the new Pokemon that debut in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Apparently, Goldengo, the evolution of Gimmighoul that requires 999 coins to evolve, is officially the 1,000th Pokemon in the franchise. The video also served as the official introduction for several Pokemon from the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games, including the evolved starters and the various Paradox Pokemon. For a time, it seemed like the Pokemon Company had deliberately tried to slow down its inevitable march to 1,000 Pokemon. Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon Sun and Moon featured a smaller roster of new Pokemon, although the franchise supplemented this with new Mega Evolutions and regional variants. However, Pokemon Sword and Shield brought back a more robust roster for new Pokemon, all but confirming that we'd passed the 1,000 mark once a full pair of new games was released. The Pokemon Company said that what will be next for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, outside of a long-awaited second patch that will assumedly address some of the many bugs in the new games, is expected the DLC will be released for the game sometime this year, as there are several regions of Paldea left to explore, and teasers of more revelations involving the mysterious Area Zero and the Pokemon responsible for the terrestrial phenomenon. And I say all that to say, wow, 1,000 Pokemon, dog. Like, I honestly can't name. I want to say probably the Hoenn region is the last one where I was really knowledgeable. Pretty much Pokemon lost me hardcore once they switched the voice actors. Once it was no longer the people from 4Kids, the classic voices, that's where they totally lost me, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool beans. But yeah, so as far as Pokemon goes, I probably could recognize some of them, but in terms of like out of 1,000, I don't know how many I could really name. I just know that Bulbasaur is the first Pokemon on the Pokedex, and it leads all the way into this, you got to do 999 coins to evolve. But what are we doing here, fam? How did we get to this point? Either way, Pokemon celebrates 1,000 Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. You ain't never catch them all. You ain't never catching them all. Okay, that was terrible. Either way, you ain't never catching them all. 1,000 Pokemon. Have fun. Next up, some very huge and interesting news in the world of anime yet again with Idris Elba. You're probably like, Idris Elba, what the heck is going on here, fam? Well, apparently it looks as though Crunchyroll is working to make big moves. Crunchyroll is not sleeping. Crunchyroll is not slacking. It looks as though with that Sony backing behind them, they are trying to be a little bit more innovative, and things like what Netflix and a lot of these other distributors have been doing in recent times of creating original anime. It seems as though Crunchyroll has not given up on that, because, you know, they did a couple of, now that I think about it, semi-original, so to speak, anime with diving into the Webtoons market, making adaptations of these series that probably never would have got anime because they're Korean manhwa. We probably never would have seen them get anime. So it seems as though Crunchyroll is like, well, we did that, and I'm sure they have some sort of stake and ownership in the productions. They paid for it and all that. And it seems as though now they want to take it a step further and get some celebrities involved. And that could always be a slippery slope, but it also could be good. I don't want to completely dismiss the idea, because look at Samuel L. Jackson, dog. Samuel L. Jackson, Afro Samurai, all of that greatness, that was fire. There are some times where it's okay for celebrities that love anime to get involved and create stuff. Well, it seems as though, according to this, Idris Elba is developing an Afro-futuristic sci-fi anime for Crunchyroll. Dantai is set in a corrupt society where biotech has created a gap between the rich and the poor. And for starters, shout outs to, very big deal, Idris Elba getting involved. Also shout outs to the fact that it's an Afro-futuristic sci-fi anime. Very, very dope. I hope that whatever we get with this is pretty much what Yasuke was supposed to be, in terms of like, yo, Yasuke was a massively dope idea, but it missed on execution, right? Like, it was dope. They had Mappa doing the animation, all of that good stuff, but when they started adding in those sci-fi elements, when we were initially sold on like, yo, this is Yasuke, dog, one of Oda Nobunaga's right-hand men, like, yo, we're about to get this crazy story, and then they were like, by the way, there's Gundam inside of there, like, hey, here's some mechs. You're like, what? So with this Dantai anime, the fact that they're being upfront, like, no, this is a futuristic sci-fi anime for Crunchyroll, it's like, okay, there won't be no backlash of, what are you doing putting this, because Yasuke, again, was a person, you know, from historical times. We wanted to see the Yasuke. I still wouldn't be mad at them giving it another shot at doing Yasuke and taking that mech stuff out of there. So we gotta wait to see what this comes with, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It sounds interesting. They're trying something different. There won't be no manga to base it off of as well, so it'll be an original and fresh experience, but we're still early on. Until we get a trailer or something, we can't judge it. Either way, pretty interesting news, and yet again, it shows that Crunchyroll is making even more strides to break out into pop culture, I guess you would say, by getting Idris Elba involved in a new anime project, again, Dantai. Okay, next up, if you don't know about me, then you should know that I am very much so passionate about indie creators of comics. I'm a big fan of seeing people try to make it, chasing their dreams and all that stuff. So I occasionally like to report on what's going on in the community of the comic creators, and in particular in Webtoons. There's been a very, I guess you would say, roller coaster ride of things that have been happening between Webtoons shutting down a lot of creator funds, some content creators coming out and speaking out against Webtoons' pay and how low it was. Like, it's been a bit of a tumultuous ride, so to speak, but it seems as though in terms of the creatives, this article right here kind of exposes that a lot of creatives be going through it, and I think a lot of people know that, but it's one of those unspoken things of like, creatives be going through it. Some of the best art comes from pain, you know what I'm saying? Some of the most appreciated art, shall I say, comes from people's experiences, and it seems as though Webtoons creators are going through it. Let's read this. Webtoons new poll reveals concerning information about manhwa artists. Again, just think mangaka. It's just for Korean translation. Over the last decades, manga has become a powerhouse in the global market, and its popularity has renewed its focus on graphic novels globally. We have seen this easily thanks to the rise of webcomics, and Webtoons houses some of the internet's best series. If you did not know, a number of Webtoons' top titles come from South Korea as opposed to Japan. And thanks to a new survey, fans have learned just how difficult it is working as a Webtoons artist. The report comes straight from the Korea Occupational Safety and Healthy Agency after a team there did case studies on two Webtoon titles, Solo Leveling and Roxana. These series were looked into as both their artists suffered declines in health while working, and the Kosha learned some startling information while exploring these studies. According to the survey, the organization learned 28 6.7% of Webtoons writers admit to having depression, while the national average in South Korea is 7.7%. The report went on to suggest that turnout was higher amongst creators for having blank thoughts, planning blank, and trying to blank. Again, I cannot show that on camera, but basically, you know, if you're feeling a certain way, forget even this article, forget FORNEVER News, all of that, me to you. If you're feeling some type of negative way in that fashion about life and you're not feeling great, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. It's so corny. I know a lot of people look at it, it's corny. Who cares about corny? Screw all of that. If you are feeling that, whether you're a comic writer or anything, you make music, whatever the case may be, talk to a friend or something, somebody that loves you and cares about you, or just in general, don't be alone, because there are a lot of people that are feeling just like you. And the best thing you could do for yourself is to not be alone. And you know what I'm saying? Try your best to watch out for yourself, because that is no joke at all. And that's very, very saddening to hear. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of manga authors are feeling and going through a lot of those similar circumstances as well, because they're just authors in another region, you know what I mean? As the report went on, even more damning information was revealed, as creators who admitted to getting negative comments on their work were more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety or depression. The group was also more likely to develop muscle disorders or health issues due to posture issues. And after serving 300 artists, the majority of creators, 51%, said their monthly income was between $1,600 and $3,200 USD. I think at the higher scale, $3,200 isn't terrible. I think that's actually pretty good for, you know, a comic artist. Obviously, most people don't realize how much work goes into a comic. You know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So $3,200, I can see somebody being like okay-ish at that scale. At $1,600, when you're putting in all those hours, maybe not. I'm not sure. Clearly, the Korean manga industry suffers from some infamous issues in the manga sphere overseas. In Japan, manga artists have spoken at length about their impossible schedules and demanding work. Creators like Yoshihiro Togashi of Hunter x Hunter have developed chronic health issues because of their careers. And sadly, it seems this phenomenon is now being witnessed in other countries that have embraced manga's rise. And honestly, yeah, it is legit a thing. I can only imagine, especially the fact that, you know, comic creators aren't the craziest paid people in, you know, entertainment. They don't get the ridiculous amount of money, and there's a lot of hours, a lot of work, a lot of self-isolation to get it done. So I could only imagine, and my heart goes out to all of those people suffering from any sort of, whether it be mental health issues, whether you're just feeling, you know, down and out. Keep on moving forward, man. Keep on moving forward. Every creative out there, whether you're a webtoon creator or not, keep moving forward. Okay, next up, it's not the biggest hype for anime fans, but there is anime on that platform, and I think people would be interested to know that apparently HBO Max has announced a price increase for subscribers. Subscribers of HBO Max woke up today to find out that the service is increasing the price of its ad-free option. Before today, an HBO Max ad-free monthly subscription cost $14.99. However, that price is going up by $1 to $15.99 plus applicable taxes. HBO Max also announced that existing subscribers who are currently paying $14.99 will see their rate increase to $15.99 in the next billing cycle. Of course, this isn't the type of news subscribers like to hear, but the competition between streaming services and stockholders looking for a bigger return on their investment, increases like these will continue to happen across the business. The price increase of $1 will allow us to continue investing in providing even more culture-defining programming and improving our customer experience for all users. This is the first price increase for HBO Max since launch in May 2020. Warner Media announced the new price tier for the ad-supported version of HBO Max during its upfront presentation in May 2021. At $9.99 per month, the ad-supported version of HBO Max originally cost subscribers 33% less than the current ad-free version, which was priced at $14.99 a month. According to former Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar, the ads on HBO Max will be the most brand-safe, elegant experience for advertisers there is in the streaming industry. Oh, stop. Y'all need money. What are you talking about? Y'all want money. Y'all need money. Capitalism. What are you talking about? As for consumers, Warner Media wanted them to know that subscribing to the ad-supported version of HBO Max won't turn into a nightmare for viewers. Ad sales head JP Coloco promised that the HBO Max ads will be the lightest ad load in the industry. There are no further details on what statement means in terms of how many ads will run per hour on HBO Max, but it's a bold statement that the service will have to live up to. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have HBO Max strictly because it comes comes with my phone plan. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like, how much really good stuff is on HBO Max? I'm not really all that familiar with everything that's on HBO Max. I know they got a lot of like DC stuff. You can watch like the DC Batman movies, Batman the animated series and stuff like that. But in terms of like their anime collection, I'm not really sure what they have on there that would be worthwhile. And just in general, all these streaming services are inevitably leading towards what we just got out of. Like, we was saying something about cable. We're gonna be going into cable. It'll just be internet thing. It'll just be whichever streaming platform wins in the end. If Netflix takes out HBO Max and a couple others, and Netflix is the last man standing, voila, Netflix wins. And that's, you know, cable from now on. Netflix will have everything on there, or damn near everything on there for you to watch. But yeah, in terms of like, we got out of the cable era, and with all these prices increasing and whatnot, if you just had like, all it is, if you got Netflix, you got Crunchyroll, and you got HBO Max, you're spending a little pretty penny. You add another couple of other streaming services, and you're damn near close to paying what you was paying for with cable before you left. So I'm not a fan of all these price increases that have been happening. Like, how long until it's at a point where it's going to cost us $30, $40, $50 to have a HBO Max subscription, to have a Netflix subscription? Like, if you get to the point of like $40, $50, just to have two alone, it's going to cost like $100. And who's trying to pay that? We left cable for that reason. So time will tell. But yeah, the streaming wars continue to brew, and the consumers are the ones that gotta pay for it. Yeah, good thing it comes with my phone plan, because I'm not paying for shit. Okay, this is not anime and manga related news. It's more so in the world of comics, and I probably would talk about this on my other show, Fornever Space. Go check that out on Fornever TF I Want, the YouTube channel. Like, yeah, we talk about a lot of really dope stuff, a whole other show. I don't know if y'all ready for that one, though. I'm just saying, I don't know if y'all ready for it. But the meme, he can't keep getting away with this, is so fitting for this one, because apparently the actor behind The Flash, y'all may have heard, like, dude is beyond the wild boy. He's somebody that it's kind of shocking of, why is he still in this role? What is going on? Because he's been doing a lot of criminal activity, caught for it, and they don't get rid of him. And according to this, Ezra Miller reached a plea deal with prosecutors ahead of the January 13th hearing. As part of the plea deal, both charges of burglary and petty larceny will be dropped. Miller is to be placed on a year probation and will also be fined $500. So with everything that this guy has done, he gets off with a slap in the wrist, $500 and probation. That'll probably help him to stay out of trouble, and he'll probably still get in trouble anyway. Like, what the hell is going on? This is something that honestly is just very curious of why they keep this dude on board, why they don't get rid of him. I mean, I'm not on some, yo, cancel him or whatever, but it is a massively strange thing that they're allowing this dude to get away with all of this. I don't think other actors would be getting away with all of this. So something very fishy. And again, I know you're probably like, yo, that's not anime manga related news, but I did want to talk about it. It's comic-ish. Comic is English for manga. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it ridiculous that this dude is getting away with all of this. Like, he can't keep getting away with it. But it is what it is. Next up, this was something that people were actually asking me about, and I'm glad I can report it to you, regarding the new Trigun Stampede anime. Very controversial, in case you haven't heard about it. I talked about the first episode over on my other channel. Please go check that one out. Very interesting watch and whatnot. But a lot of people were like, okay, boom, you know, whatever. For better or worse, it exists now, right? Like, it's a matter of, do you want to watch it or you don't, period. Like, you're gonna watch it or you're not. And the people that are gonna watch it were asking me like, yo, dog, Fornev, do you know what's happening with the English dub? Well, I got you covered. Let's read. Johnny Young Bosch returns for Trigun Stampede, reveals English dub release date. Vash the Stampede is back, and now in more ways than one. Crunchyroll is announcing today that Johnny Young Bosch, the original voice of Vash from the '98 Trigun, will reprise his role in the new anime series Trigun Stampede. Additionally, Crunchyroll is announcing the first English dubbed episode of the series will premiere on January 21st. So the dub is not far off, and you're gonna have your Johnny Young Bosch. Voicing Vash the Stampede in the original Trigun series is a role that literally launched my voiceover career, and I am extremely excited to voice him again in this all-new anime adaptation from Studio Orange, said Bosch. I look forward to going on this adventure with fans once more, and hope new audiences enjoy the journey as well. And I think that's really cool. I mean, it is a little bit interesting that they're bringing him back, right? Because one of the things is that, hey, this is the new Trigun, the new experience, so you would assume assume that they would have made, in my opinion, the wrong choice, I guess you would say, of like, we really want to get far away from the old anime. No, we're not going to get Johnny Yambash for that dub. However, I think that's more so on the Western side of things. Crunchyroll recognizing like, yo, Japan, we understand how you feel, right? But hear us out. This is what fans want. Fans want it because a lot of people ask me, yo, is Johnny returning for Vash? FNEF, do you know? Well, yes, he will be returning for Vash and Stampede for the new Trigun anime, and it will be dropping yet again January 21st, the first episode of the English dub. If you want to already jump into it, you don't really care about the dub, it is currently out, and I believe episode 2 is the next episode coming in a few days, or it might be out by the time you're watching this, I'm not sure, but either way, Trigun Stampede English dub incoming, and it will have the same voice of Vash the Stampede that you loved and enjoyed from the original. Johnny is returning, which is dope. They keep Johnny going. Like, yeah, Johnny Yambash is a pretty awesome voice actor. His Ichigo, though, I'm just saying, or his Lelouch V. Britannia. I'm trailing off. Yeah, Vash is returning. Let's go. Okay, this was a quick and interesting story that I wanted to bring to you guys because a lot of people have been keeping a close eye on Disney. They've been keeping a close eye on Disney as they slowly make waves into the anime sphere. Obviously, they recently got Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, and it's Disney Plus everywhere else except the US that was like, we're not tolerating that, dog. You better put it somewhere else. And they put it on Hulu. Then they made another move and got Tokyo Revengers. They brought that one Hulu exclusive in the West as well. However, before all of that, one of the earliest murmurings of people being very, very upset about Disney grabbing anime was a series called Summertime Rendering. A lot of people were like, yo, dog, they got it in the vault. It's ridiculous. We're supposed to be enjoying this. What are they doing? Well, seems as though you're finally going to be able to watch Summertime Rendering. Let's read. Summertime Rendering was one of the biggest hits of 2022 overseas, and now fans in the United States will be able to check it out as it has been officially released for streaming. When Disney first announced they would be joining the competition of licensing and producing new anime projects, fans have been concerned over whether or not this would mean we would see them outside of Japan. Well, fans ended up getting the worst case scenario as one of their first major seasonal release licenses. Summertime Rendering actually didn't get released internationally at all last year. First released during the spring 2022 anime schedule in Japan, Summertime Rendering ended up being one of the most talked about new series overseas, but when the year came to an end, unfortunately, I couldn't join many of the best of the year conversations because much of the world could not watch it legally for themselves. However, the time has come to an end, finally, as Summertime Rendering is finally streaming on Hulu for fans in the United States. And it says here, it's based on the original manga that ran in Jump Plus's app. Summertime Rendering was one of the biggest new anime of 2022. Fans in the US can check out all 25 episodes of the series with both English subtitles and with a full English dub release with Hulu. Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay. Fans in European territories can check out the series on Disney Plus, as well as for what to expect. Summertime Rendering is teased. Okay, they had a teaser. So yeah, that might be something to jump on. Honestly, Hulu, they got Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, they got Tokyo Revengers, and Summertime Rendering. I might check it out. I didn't know that. I thought it was gonna still be locked in Disney hell. Like, hey, I'm not getting Disney. That's the one thing though. You ain't getting me, Disney. You ain't getting me. I mean, well, you got me with Hulu. God damn it. Go watch Summertime Rendering, I guess, guys. I don't know. I've heard it's good. I'm gonna check it out. I'll let you know. I'll do a review on my main channel, FORNEVERNEWS World. Go subscribe over there. Okay, people, let's slow it down with the weekly Shonen magazine and weekly Shonen Jump author comments, courtesy of Jose_Ke. To start things off, we got Kei Urana, author of Gachi Akuta. Sneak skill effect, being able to sniff out high-class goods without realizing their existence. Okie dokie. Muneyuki Kaneshiro, Blue Lock. There's still more left to the World Cup. The real-life drama is so intense that I want to create great fiction that can keep up. Yeah, the World Cup was huge. George Morikawa from Hajime no Ippo. I hope you'll enjoy Hajime no Ippo this year too. Is Ippo fighting yet? Like, yo, isn't there the big thing that like Ippo stopped boxing for the longest time? Is he fighting yet? If you're an Ippo fan and you read the manga, please let me know, is Ippo back in the ring? Nakaba Suzuki, author of Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Seven Deadly Sins. Takako Aonuma's Tanpopo-chan Showa meal is fascinating and gets my mouth watering. Pause, but alright. Hey, I'm glad you're putting that in your body instead of alcohol. Shout out to Nakaba Suzuki. Hiromashima, author of Eden Zero and Fairy Tail. I had lunch with Marvel Comics. Whoa, hold up. I had lunch with Marvel Comics editor-in-chief CB Cebulski. Maybe I'll give drawing American comics a shot. This is a goal. That's the GOAT. Put the meme of the dude. That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT.
The GOAT.
He might be the first mangaka. Maybe when Eden Zero is wrapped up and done, he might say, yo, guess what, guys? I'm going to start making American comics. My next joint, it ain't manga, dog. It's a comic, which is the same word anyway. But imagine, like, he leaves Weekly Shonen Magazine and all that. Marvel offers him, like, the biggest bag in the world. Please come be a pioneer over here to make some new amalgamation. Like, this is huge. Wow, this is one of my favorite Weekly Shonen Magazine comments ever. That is crazy. Hiro Mashima, you the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT.
You the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Definitely very excited to see Hiro Mashima, creator of Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, Raid Master, Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. To see him rocking with Marvel, that's going to be an exciting look, man. That's going to be huge. Hiro Mashima coming to Marvel. He met with one of the editors over there, like, this is big.
The GOAT.
And we got Negi Haraba, author of Ranger Reject. Happy New Year's. Here's to a fun year ahead. And I believe we got that anime incoming for that, so that's going to be interesting to see. Then we got the Weekly Shonen Jump author comments. We got Eiichiro Oda, creator of One Piece. Happy New Year. I will try my hardest for another year to create the best manga that I can. Thank you. Dope stuff there. We got Gege Akutami, Jujutsu Kaisen. The neighborhood convenience store suddenly started being assertive with their new products. Maybe the manager changed? Probably. Or maybe they going through some financial stuff? Could be. My Hero Academia's Kohei Horikoshi. My shoulders hurt so... Whoa. Okay, yeah. This one right here is a bit sad, and this is another big one to point out. And this is also a testament again to these mangaka that they break down, man. This is real. He said, my shoulders hurt so much. If it was going to hurt this much, then I wish I never had shoulders. That's going to be something that's going to push My Hero Academia to wrapping up sooner than later. Health issues always make these manga authors decide, okay, can't do it no more. Sorry. Speedy recovery and best wishes to Kohei Horikoshi. This is probably, again, another reason why he'd be having to take breaks. He can't handle it. He's falling apart. We got Black Clover's Yuki Tabata. I'm so happy that I got to attend Jump Festival with both sides of the family. Happy New Year to everyone. That is so fire, man. That is so fire. I love hearing all that wholesome stuff, dog. Wow. Yeah, shout outs to Yuki Tabata, living the dream. We love you, guy. Keep it up. And yeah, people, those were the Weekly Shonen Magazine and Weekly Shonen Jump author comments. Always a treat. And let's close this bad boy up with the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, courtesy of Jos_K. We got 50 through 41, and it is a free-for-all of Blue Lock all around. Volume 19 and Volume 4 at places 50 and 49. Then at 47, we got another one. We got Tokyo Revengers Volume 30. Ooh, that's a big drop. 21.9. It's total 728,000. That's still a massive overall sales. But, oh, man, we're falling out of the top 50 already. We just dropped like a month and a half ago. Well, 2 months ago. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. Then we got Blue Lock yet again, riddled all around, doing 22,000 more or less in places 45, 44, 43, and 41. Then we got places 40 through 31. More Blue Lock. Blue Lock Volume 10 and 11, doing again another 22.6. We got One Piece, latest Volume 104, 23,000 this week. We hit 1.8 mil, 200,000 away from 2 mil. I don't see that happening before it leaves the top 50. It'll probably leave with maybe a couple more. It'll probably leave with like 1.9 if we're lucky, or 1.87 or something. Then more Blue Lock, 29187. The anime is doing wonders. It's clear as day. The Blue Lock agenda is real. 23,000 a piece, damn near all of those. We got Chainsaw Man still kicking up some heat with volumes 3 and 4, 24,000 a piece, 1.2 million each. Then we got places 30 through 21. Even more Chainsaw Man. Jeez Louise. Honestly, I feel like I'm getting a little bit redundant with it, Mike, because it's like Chainsaw Man Volume 2, which I believe is the highest selling manga. Of course it is. It got power on the cover. 24,000 this week, 1.3 mil total. Oh no, I'm lying. I thought it was. Chainsaw Man Volume 1 is still the highest selling one, with 25,000 this week, bringing his total to 1.39. Oh shoot, man. Blue Lock Volume 6, Spy Family Volume 10, 26,000, 1.5 mil. And then they wonder why Spy Family gets such a push, dog. Look at that. Damn. And then Chainsaw Man takes 25 through 21 places with 27,000 pretty much a piece. So after that Chainsaw Man anime wrapped up, people are not forgetting about it. They are still massively in love with it. It's crazy. Then we got places 20 through 11. Chainsaw Man Volume 10, 27,000. Volume 6, 28,000. Disney Twisted Wonderland, the comic episode of Heart Slab Mule. 29,000 in 6 days. What the hell is that? Then we got at 14, the latest Chainsaw Man volume 12, still on the charts at number 14, which is one hell of a feat to say the least. 31,000, bringing his total to 722,000. Outrageous, crazy. Then we got top 10. At number 10, Kaguya-sama Lovers Wars final volume, 39,000 this week. In 2 weeks, 175,000 copies. Salute to that author finally being liberated from that. Blue Lock volume 22 with 40,000, 17 days, 216,000. I believe that's the latest volume. Nichijo's putting out volumes? Nichijo? Okay. Volume 11, 43,000, 54,000 in 7 days total. Space Brothers, okay, that's a drop from Space Brothers. Usually be doing a little bit more than that. Oh no, it's in 11 days. Never mind. It did like about 90 in its first week or something like that, 90 something. But 47,000 or basically almost 48 this week, bringing its total 144. At number 5, Slam Dunk, the first Slam Dunk resource, 49,000 this week, bringing its total to 266. Yeah, they ain't letting that go at all. At number 3, Record of Ragnarok, volume 17, in 13 days, 176. Bungo Stray Dogs, volume 23, at number 2 with 63,000. And number 1, a manga that's been out for a little bit now, climbing back up to number 1 with 86,000 copy this week in 31 days. Jujutsu Kaisen, volume 21, a total of 1.2 mil. I ain't mad at it. Anytime I see Gege catch a W, I'm here for it, baby. Let's go. But that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, something I didn't talk about, and you're like, yo, Fornev, talk about it. Let me know. I'm Fornev World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, bye. Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more Forever News. Baby, yeah, peace in.
I have a dream, alone in my room as I sit with the tea. Couldn't possibly think what I often see, and you don't even know how I often blink. Lights be flashing and looking at me, such an odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read me, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.